Bootstrapping is the badge of honor that entrepreneurs hang in the living room. It is what creates fables and myths in business, the bootstrap business that grew into a unicorn. You have to understand this is the vision some have of entrepreneurship and what actually fuels them. You can't deny the successful stories of bootstrapping are majorly motivational and give you something to hope for. But what is bootstrapping? How can you use it to benefit your business? And what are the pros and cons of it? So let's get into that today. Bootstrapping is essentially when you self-fund your business through your savings or salary, or you source capital from friends or family without any external funding such as a bank or even a seed investor. This is the very first stage, the starting point of business funding. It is absolutely reliant on nothing but social capital and your own finances. At this point, all you have is a piece of paper outlining your business map and roadmap. You probably don't have any repeat business, customers, facilities of any kind, or even suppliers. Very few banks at this point in time will be willing to lend to you, if any, and even pre-seed investors may put on the brakes until you show them something, anything. So with that in mind, no institutions looking your way, you realize you're going to have to do it by yourself entirely, and that's fine, but it's high risk and much slower than if you were to get any sort of funding. If you want to source more capital, you're going to have to convert social capital into capital by reaching out to your friends, which is where it gets tricky. So essentially what I mean by that is you're going to have to use your social network and convert those social points into actual money in the bank by asking for money. Here's the issue though. Let's be honest, your friends and family are not polished venture capitalists who can dig into your business plan and make truly informed decisions. They're just people that believe in you and want you to succeed. To succeed at this stage, it's crucial that you have built true, deep social connections with the people around you. Don't do it in a Machiavellian way just so you can get what you want. But do remember, as an entrepreneur, your first business step will be funded by the people around you. So look into your phone contacts, look into who's in your life, look at your Facebook list, who do you hang out with, who's in the room with you right now. That's your social capital that you can potentially look into turning into capital for your business. It's important at this stage that when you get funded from family that you are completely honest about the risks inherent in investing in a startup, what they should expect, and the chances of failure. Make sure everything is in writing with legal representatives available for both parties. With that out of the way, what are the risks inherent in bootstrapping? What are the benefits that it provides? Well, the most obvious risk is personal risk. You are hedging your own future here, either by dipping into your own savings or by using your salary whilst you work on your business on the side. There is major risk to this because if it goes wrong, and there's a 90% chance that it will, you are out of absolutely everything that you built up. You will lose everything potentially, depending on how much of your savings and salary used on this. The problem is that a lot of entrepreneurs aren't ready for this grim reality when they fall in love with the magic of bootstrapping, and when reality hits them, they don't have the mental health reserves to look after themselves. It is incredibly painful to not have just your dream fail, but realize that your dream has also destroyed your past success and your future prospects simultaneously. Because as I said, you're probably going to use your savings that you've built up over the years, and losing your business is going to affect your future hopes that you're back to zero. So please be aware of the personal risk inherent in bootstrapping and plan for that accordingly. A benefit, however, of bootstrapping is greater focus, especially in terms of time management. Raising capital externally demands a lot of the CEO's time. You're talking to bankers, you're handling contracts with lawyers, you're trying to woo investors. Many fundraising CEOs have said fundraising consumed at least 60% of their time. When bootstrapping, however, you just have to please one person, and that's the customer. This increased focus allows you to hone in on a great product, a great company, and ignore the fundraising BS. I'll give you another con though. That con is time, and I'll add energy on top of that. Bootstrapping will absolutely drink up any energy reserves that you thought you had. Don't forget, most likely you're going to have to continue working on the side and then run your business in the spare time. This is going to challenge your social, romantic, or familial commitments that you already have, which will eventually affect your psychological well-being. This isn't easy, and you have to understand the sacrifices will have to be made. Imagine working an 8-hour shift and knowing you're going home to do another 5 hours working on your business. That is a huge energy demand that most people can't handle. Just to balance it out, I'll give you another pro. That pro is, if you can be successful and start a budding business, by the time you need external investments, you will not have to dilute your ownership as much. If you can bootstrap your way past the pre-seed and seed stage without taking any money for equity, by the time you reach the venture capital stage, you will have all the leverage. They won't be able to bend you over for your ownership because you won't have had to dilute any previously to get to that stage. You will still own 100% of your business, so there's much less ownership that can be diluted further. So that's bootstrapping, and I've also given you the pros and the cons of bootstrapping. In my opinion, to make it work, you have to really look after yourself and look after your social connections religiously. From everyone that you take money from, you must be completely honest, completely transparent, and even be willing to refuse money. Yes, refuse money. I know that sounds counterintuitive, but it is great advice I can give you at this stage. Don't let money get in the way of a good relationship. Don't risk relationships that you aren't willing to risk. If you think someone will be difficult to handle once they've given you money, then don't accept the money. If you think someone isn't well informed enough, then don't accept their money. It's as simple as that. Always set the terms of their conversation in legal writing. Are they getting equity, or is this a loan that they expect to be paid back with interest? When can they expect dividends, or the opportunity to sell their stake, etc., etc.? Finally, to make bootstrapping really work for yourself, you have to look after yourself as if you are a child. This is going to be incredibly hard, so take care of your mental health by journaling and meditating. On top of that, get enough rest to feel recuperated daily. My biggest tip also is to get co-founders. Yes, it does technically dilute your ownership, but it is worth it for spreading the risk, raising more capital easier, and having someone to share the physical and mental workload with. So from the people that you're asking for financing from, are there some of them that you can bring on not just as an investor, but actually as a co-founder, so that you can share that mental burden and have someone to work alongside with? I'm your entrepreneur, and this is my CEO Academy. Remember, the treasures you seek lie in the cave you fear to enter.